24th of April, 2018. It's Tuesday. Welcome to Future Tech Tuesdays, a part of the F-series of the Ordinary Joe Show. The 3 laws of robotics. Number 1. A robot may not injure a human being, or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Number 2. A robot must obey the orders given it by human beings except where such orders would conflict with the first law. Law number 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. The 3 laws were fictitious science fiction laws created by Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics that was introduced in 1942 short story Runaround, although they were foreshadowed in a few earlier stories. The 3 laws of robotics in science fiction. In 2011, the Engineering and Physical Science Research Council and the Arts and Humanities Research Council of Great Britain jointly published a set of 5 ethical principles of designers, builders, and users of robots in the real world, along with 7 high-level messages intended to be conveyed based on a September 2010 research workshop. These are the principles of robotics according to the 2 councils. Number 1. Robots should not be designed solely or primarily to kill or harm humans. Number 2. Humans, not robots, are responsible agents. Robots are tools designed to achieve human goals. Number 3. Robots should be designed in ways that assure their safety and security. Number 4. Robots are artifacts. They should not be designed to exploit vulnerable users by evoking an emotional response or dependency. It should always be possible to tell a robot from a human. Number 5. It should always be possible to find out who is legally responsible for a robot. Those are the 5 principles of robotics in real world according to the Engineering and Physical Science Research Council and the Arts and Humanities Research Council of Great Britain. The messages intended to be conveyed were: number 1, we believe robots have the potential to provide immense positive impact to society. We want to encourage responsible robot research. Number 2, bad practice hurt us all. Number 3, addressing obvious public concerns will help us all make progress. Number 4, it is important to demonstrate that we, as robotics, are committed to the best possible standards of practice. Number 5, to understand the context and consequences of our research, we should work with experts from other disciplines including social sciences, law, philosophy, and the arts. Number 6, we should consider the ethics of transparency. Are there limits to what should be openly available? Number 7, when we see erroneous accounts in the press, we commit to take the time to contact the reporting journalist. The EPSRC principles are broadly recognized as a useful starting point. In 2016, Tony Prescott organized a workshop to revise these principles, e.g. to differentiate ethical from legal principles. Satya Nadella, a CEO of Microsoft Corporation, in 2016, at that time, had an interview with a Slate magazine and roughly sketched 5 rules of artificial intelligences to be observed by their designers. Number 1, AI must be designed to assist humanity, meaning human autonomy needs to be respected. Number 2, AI must be transparent, meaning that humans should know and be able to understand how they work. Number 3, AI must maximize efficiencies without destroying the dignity of people. Number 4. AI must be designed for intelligent privacy, meaning that it earns trust through guarding their information. Number 5. AI must have algorithmic accountability so that humans can undo unintended harm. Number 6. AI must guard against bias so that they must not discriminate against people. Mark W. Tilden. He is a robotics physicist who was a pioneer in developing simple robotics. His 3 guiding rules for robots are: Number 1. A robot must protect its existence at all cost. Number 2. A robot must obtain and maintain access to its own power source. Number 3. A robot must continually search for better power sources. What is notable in these 3 rules is that these are basically rules for wildlife. So in essence, what Tilden stated is that what we wanted was proctoring a silicon species into sentience, but with full control over the specs. Not plant, not animal, something else. The ethics of artificial intelligence is the part of the ethics of technology specific to robots and other artificially intelligent beings. It is typically divided into roboethics, a concern with the moral behavior of humans as they design, construct, use and treat artificial intelligent beings, and machine ethics, which is concerned with the moral behavior of artificial moral agents. The term robot ethics, sometimes roboethics, refers to the morality of how humans design, construct, use and treat robots and other artificially intelligent beings. Considers both how artificially intelligent beings may be used to harm humans and how they may be used to benefit humans. Robot rights. Robot rights is the concept that people should have moral obligations towards their machines, similar to human rights or animal rights. It has been suggested that robot rights, such as a right to exist and perform its own mission, could be linked to robot duty to serve human, by analogy with linking human rights to human duties before society. This could include the right to life and liberty, freedom of thought and expression, and equality before the law. The issue has been considered by the Institute of the Future and the United Kingdom Department of Trade and Industry. Folks, this is not science fiction. Experts disagree whether specific and detailed laws will be required soon or safely in the distant future. Glenn McGee reports that sufficiently humanoid robots may appear by 2020. Ray Carswell sets the date at 2029. Another group of scientists meeting in 2007 supposed that at least 50 years had to pass before any sufficiently advanced system would exist. The rules for the 2003 Loebner Prize competition envisioned the possibility of robots having rights of their own. 61. If, in any given year, a publicly available open source entry entered by University of Surrey or the Cambridge Centre wins the silver medal or the gold medal, then the medal and the cash award will be awarded to the body responsible for the development of the entry. If no such body can be identified, or if there is disagreement among two or more claimants, the medal and the cash award will be held in trust until such time as the entry may be legally possessed, either in the United States of America or the venue of the contest, the cash award and gold medal in its own right. In October 2017, the android Sophia was granted citizenship in Saudi Arabia, though some observers found this to be more of a publicity stunt than a meaningful legal recognition. Threat to human dignity. Computer power and human reason. Joseph Weizenbaum argued in 1976 that AI technology should not be used to replace people in positions that require respect and care, such as any of these. A customer service representative AI technology is already used today for telephone-based interactive voice response system. A therapist, as was proposed by Kenneth Colby in 1970s. Today in Japan, there are many tiny robots and huggable robots and plushy robots used for therapy, for people with depression, and for people's loneliness. Joseph Weizenbaum also argued in 1976 that AI technology should not be used to replace people in positions that require respect and care, such as a nursemaid for the elderly, as was reported by Pamela McCordock in her book, The Fifth Generation. It's happening today, folks. Nursemaid for the elderly, especially in Japan, are mainstream and out in the open. It was also argued by Joseph Weizenbaum in 1976 that it should not be used to fit the role of soldiers, judges, and police officers. But it's happening. For real. And it's not science fiction. Weizenbaum explains that we require authentic feelings of empathy from people in these positions. If machines replaces them, we will find ourselves alienated, devalued, and frustrated. Artificial intelligence, if used in this way, represents a threat to human dignity. Weizenbaum argues that the fact that we are entertaining the possibility of machines in these positions suggests that we have experienced an atrophy of the human spirit that comes from thinking of ourselves as computers. Pamela McCordock counters that. Speaking for women and minorities, I'd rather take my chances with the impartial computer, pointing out that there are conditions where we would prefer to have automated judges and police that have no personal agenda at all. AI founder John McCarthy objects to the moralizing tone of Weizenbaum's critic. When moralizing is both vehement and vague, it invites authoritarian abuse, he writes. Bill Hibbard writes that human dignity requires that we strive to remove our ignorance of the nature of existence, and AI is necessary for that striving. Dark days ahead, folks, if robots become mainstream and gain equal rights as human beings. Open your eyes. This is happening as we speak. The Guardian, Tuesday, February 6, 2018. Headline: Japan lays groundwork for boom in robot carers. Japanese government wants to increase acceptance of technology that could help fill the gap in the nursing workforce. There's a picture of a patient lying down and a robot carrying her down. Japan's elderly are being told to get used to being looked after by the robots. with Japan's aging society facing a predicted shortfall of 370,000 caregivers by 2025. The government wants to increase community acceptance of technology that could help fill the gap in the nursing workforce. Developers have focused their efforts on producing simple robotic devices that help frail residents get out of bed and into a wheelchair, or that can ease senior citizens into bathtubs. But the government sees a wider range of potential applications and recently revised its list of priorities to include robots that can predict when patients might need to use the toilet. Dr. Hirohisa Hirukawa, Director of Robot Innovation Research at Japan's National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, said that the aims included easing the burden of nursing staff and boosting the autonomy of people still living at home. Robotics cannot solve all of these issues, however. Robotics will be able to make a contribution to some of these difficulties, he said. Hirukawa said lifting robotics had so far been deployed in only about 8% of nursing homes in Japan, partly because of the cost and partially because of the mindset of the people on the front line of caregiving, that after all, it must be human beings who provide this kind of care. Not according to Hirokawa. He does not agree. He added, on the side of those who receive care, of course, initially there will be a psychological resistance. Hirokawa's research center has worked on a government-backed project to help 98 manufacturers test nursing care robotic devices over the past 5 years, 15 of which have been developed into commercial products. In the interest of lowering cost and complexity, this type of robots do not yet resemble humans or talk to users, but deploy smart technology to help people in specific situations. One example is an electric-boosted mobility aid that a person can hold on to when walking around city streets. The sensors detect if the user is going uphill and a booster function is activated. When the walker is detected going downhill, an automatic brake kicks in to reduce falls. These are pretexts of AI deciding for you whether you want to go or whether you want to stop. In Japan, we already have more motor-supported bicycles, so it is like a version of an assist for walking, Hirokawa said during a demonstration at the Foreign Press Center, Japan. Don't let them pull a fast one on you, my friends. The next research priorities include wearable mobility aid devices and technology that guides people to the toilet at what it predicts is the right time. So your robot will predict and will decide when you go to the toilet and when you wait or when you missed your opportunity to take your pee-pee. According to the Japan's robot strategy, the government hopes that 4 in 5 care recipients accept having some support provided by robots by 2020. And since you're here, according to The Guardian, we have a small favor to ask. More people are reading The Guardian than ever, but advertising revenues across media are failing fast, so they want to ask for money after they propagandize your brain. Forbes magazine, January 26, 2018. Headline: Teleexistence. How this Tokyo startup is building real-life avatar robots. Do you know what is teleexistence? Welcome to the world of teleexistence. It's 10 years in the future and you have to inspect a prototype that just been made in an Asian country. Business travel, however, is becoming a thing of the past because you can now port yourself into a local robot avatar to see and feel the prototype while interacting with factory staff. with your gestures transmitted in real time, while the robot relays audiovisual and haptic sensor data. You feel like you're right there. Welcome to the world of teleexistence. What is teleexistence? If you've seen the 2009 science fiction film Avatar or Surrogates, the concept is familiar. The technology, which has even garnered attention from America's X Prize Foundation, allows human operators to manipulate genetically engineered bodies or lifelike robots from a distance, giving them enhanced abilities such as superhuman strength. Today, veteran Japanese researchers have teamed up with younger engineers and business people to turn this fantasy into reality. So folks, when this becomes mainstream, all humans need not leave their homes. They can stay on their chairs, lie down on their beds, and experience everything from home. They just need to plug in to the Matrix. Don't need to live in real life. Just live in the Avatar world and you will experience everything through your brain cells. And the rest of the robots will just harvest your organs and your other minerals and oils from your body. All you don't even need a body. You only need your brain placed in a petri dish, connected to the Matrix, connected to the singularity, and you can experience everything through your avatar. Don't worry about it. You don't need your own body. This is not science fiction, ladies and gentlemen. This is science fact, a clear and present danger. Let's do a little review. What did Joseph Weizenbaum argued in 1976? He said that AI technology should not be used to replace people in positions that require respect and care, such as customer service, therapist, a nursemaid, a soldier, a judge, a police officer, among many other examples. And what do we have here? Forbes magazine, June 3rd, 2017. Meet the terrifying new robot cop that's patrolling Dubai. That's the headline. Robocop is real, at least in the Middle East. Dubai police are deploying a robot policeman, and the life-size patrolman is straight out of the uncanny valley. According to a report from Reuters, Robocop can help identify wanted criminals and collect evidence, and will patrol busy areas in the city as part of the government program aimed at replacing some human crime fighters with machines. Because why leave to meat-based chance what you can compute with a scary-faced pile of gears and plastic? The Dubai police force is hoping to replace a quarter of its human cops with droids cops by 2030. Should visions of trigger-happy robot cop be terrorizing your imagination? Rest assured, this is more of a policeman-shaped help vestibule on wheels than a killer robot with a badge. You should see the picture, folks, of this humanoid Robocop. They will sugarcoat it. They will water down. They will make it look very friendly, look vulnerable, and look very innocent. The uniformed bot cop may be able to read human faces and identify possible miscreants, but it disturbingly lacks a mouth, and its face is a white spread of emptiness embedded with two darkly sunken eyes. Talk about a chilling effect on crime. And who do they consider as criminals? The real criminals? Or everybody else? Citizens who wish to report a crime can do so with the bot on the beat, as the machine has a touch screen where its heart should be. A member of the Dubai police told Reuters that distinct conveniences to having non-humans on patrol. They're trying to eliminate humans. They're trying to replace humans, human robots, human soldiers. And is it true? As Joseph Weizenbaum argued in 1976, they might actually try and install robotic judges. September 19, 2017, CBC News. Headline: Robot judges? Edmonton research crafting artificial intelligence for courts. Building machines that understand language well enough to reason about law is a pretty interesting challenge. Edmonton researchers Randy Gobel is part of a team designing artificial intelligence software that could one day weigh contradicting legal evidences, rule on cases, and predict the outcomes of future trials. Ralph Barrera, Austin American statesman via AP. If Edmonton researcher Randy Gobel has his way, artificially intelligent judges and attorneys will become players in the courtrooms of the future. A professor in computing science at the University of Alberta, Gobel has partnered with scientists in Japan to develop artificial intelligence programs designed for the legal world. His team has already designed an algorithm capable of passing the Japanese bar exam. Now the computer scientists are taking the research one step further. Some of the things that humans do. The latest project is new artificial intelligence software that could weigh contradicting legal evidence, rule on cases, and predict the outcome of future trials. It's just extending the research required to more deeply understand language, so you can support or take over some of the things that humans do with legal reasoning, Gobel said in an interview with the CBC Edmonton's Radioactive. The next stage is to become more aggressive and develop not just yes, no questions, but do free-form questions. Artificial intelligence, robots, and the future of work. Outside the lab, lawyers put the new algorithm to practical use, using it to study legal precedents and navigate the best path to a legal victory. The program is designed to understand language and provide answers, just like a real flesh and blood legal expert, and in some cases may be more accurate due to its ability to reference obscure cases. Search engines like Google are already commonplace in the courts, and artificial intelligence is the next logical step, said Gobel. Reducing the research burdens for lawyers and clerks will be among the most practical applications. A lot of the work that lawyers do in law offices is so-called discovery, trying to find out what data, what documents are related to a case that you're managing, said Gobel, who also serves as principal investigator with the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute. Speeding that up by having computer programs that do a more in-depth analysis of the language can save time and money. Interesting motivation. Work on the bar exam software began in 2012. It is now considered a world leader in the field. The software finished first at the 2016 competition on legal information extraction entailment in international competition that pitted the best AI programs against each other. The successful program was inspired by failure, said Gobel. What is the world coming to, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters? we have to pray. Every Tuesday, we call our podcast series as Future Tech and the Future of Societies. It's part of our F series. Futuristic societies. Have you envisioned it? How will it look like? The Institute for the Future, IFTF, is a Palo Alto, California, US-based not-for-profit think tank. It was established in 1968 as a spin-off from the RAND Corporation to help organizations plan for the long-term future, a subject known as futures. First reference to the idea of an Institute for the Future may be found in the 1966 prospectus by Olaf Helmer and others. While at RAND Corporation, Helmer had already been involved with developing the Delphi method of futures studies. He and others wished to extend the work further with an emphasis on examining multiple scenarios. This can be seen in the prospectus summary. To explore systematically the possible futures for the USA nation and for the international community. To ascertain which among these possible futures seems desirable and why. To seek means by which the probability of their occurrence can be enhanced through appropriate purposeful action. First years. The Institute opened in 1968 in Middletown, Connecticut. The initial group was led by Frank Davidson and included Olaf Helmer, Paul Baron, Arnold Kramish, and Theodore Gordon. The Institute's work initially relied on forecasting methods built upon that by Helmer while at RAND. The Delphi method was used to glean information from multiple anonymous sources. It was augmented by cross-impact analysis, which encouraged an analyst to consider multiple future scenarios. But realize this, that in the last days difficult times will come, for men will be lovers of self, lovers of money, boastful, arrogant, revelers, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, unloving, irreconcilable, malicious, gossips, without self-control, brutal, haters of good. 2 Timothy 3:1-5. Friends, we're running out of time. Everything that I said to you today are verbatim from white papers, from Wikipedia, from news sources. I just connected the dots for you. I added a little bit of comments here and there, but 99.99% of everything I just read to you today are verbatim from white papers, Wikipedia articles, and news articles from renowned mainstream newspapers. Science fiction of the future is science fact already today. See you again next week. God bless you all. Please don't forget to come back next week on another Future Tech and Future of Society, only here at Ordinary Joe Show.